Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Dee-1, and I am joined by a very, 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 very special guest today, y'all. This is my brother. This is my friend. This is head coach Larry Cordero, aka L Train. I didn't forget your nickname, big dog. So it's Dee-1, aka Slingshot David, aka Deezy, aka Mr. Augustine, aka Let David Off Dwyer, joined by L Train, aka Coach Larry Cordero. That's the proper introduction. How you doing today, my brother?
Better than good, man. This is big time, and looking forward to getting with you on air. Here we are, man.
Yes. This is great, bro. Before I start off and get into the questions, talking about your profession and your life and your journey, I have asked myself many days and many nights, um, where does our synergy and our chemistry come from? Because uh, we have two passions that overlap. You are obviously a head college basketball coach, but you have a passion that the average person might not know for hip hop. To the point where you always texting me bars, and Coach has bars, by the way, y'all. Like Coach really sends me text messages with bars he's thought of, and I'm like, yo, that's a legit line
Put
that
me
I
on
would
the
use if
song, D. Put me on the song.
yo, like in real life, bro. If I put you on a song, that would probably be the first head coach that's been featured on a rapper's song. You hear about players that are on songs all the time. Damian Lillard, a couple of our boys from LSU, man. Tyrus Thomas got some bars. Brandon
Brandon
Bass
Bass.
got bars. Yeah, but to get a head coach on it, bro, I think I might have to do that.
I'm on something.
Yeah. So, and the
I'm
way
not
you feel
practicing. I'm a little rusty.
Nah, bro, you ain't not based on these texts you send me. You ain't rusty, bro. But your passion for hip hop is the same as the fact that I am a professional rapper, but I have a passion for sports, specifically the sport of basketball, and that overlap, man. Um, it's amazing to me, and I think that that has partially contributed to our friendship. We also happen to share a birthday, the great date of April
Can't
10th.
read.
Yeah, bro. So it just makes me honored to be your friend, bro, and to share these passions and also a birthday with you, man. As I get in today, I pick your brain off air about these type of questions, but I'm gonna jump in asking you something that I know matters a lot to me, which is, bro, what goes into the art of getting a group of guys, getting your team to be able to maximize their potential as a unit? Like what's the what's the process like to be able to get guys to buy into a system and maximize what they could accomplish together as opposed to just being a bunch of individuals? Because you've obviously done it, man.
D, man, it takes a lot of work, a lot of time. You invest so much into your career and what you do. And the journey that you've been on is amazing, man. And the people that I come across, we just finished up with a camp here on campus. And I was telling all the campers about D1. And, hey, if you don't follow on your ride home, you need to listen up. And some parents come up after, and they're like, yeah, I listen to D1. And it's just really neat for me. I've been bragging on you for, as long as I've been coaching. And really, being in Louisiana most of my coaching career, we've come across a lot of small circles, whether it be recruiting in New Orleans and your love for basketball, my love for hip hop. I think we go against, trying to get the same thing accomplished, whether it be a quality basketball player or whether it be an unbelievable song that you already make. It just takes commitment. And I think it starts, One Man Army. That's one of my favorite songs, one of your first songs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I wrote that in college, bro. Yeah.
Our LSU days where we met, man. We've been hooked up for a long time, of course, no doubt. But just to answer your question, it just takes surrounding yourself. I'm in our locker room right now, and I'm just looking up at our players' names and where they're from, and credit those guys. For us, it starts in recruiting. It starts in putting together a coaching staff. Who you surround yourself with, whether it be your agents or whether, the people that you want to do songs with. I think that's, you are who you associate with.
Mm.
And we've done a very good job of going out and recruiting winners from winning programs, whether it be Scotlandville in Baton Rouge, who wins a lot of championships. And I could name a lot of other high schools in Louisiana. But I think it just starts with people.
Starts with people. Wow. That makes me think about having the right people is one thing. What is the art of motivation like in your profession, bro? To where oftentimes from the outside looking in, people feel like, okay, head coaches are there to motivate the players to want to be great. But I'm sure that a lot of players have their own motivation to want to be great. So is the role of a coach to necessarily motivate people, or is it just to kind of keep people on task and on mission, like I say, to keep them on mission and to just help aid and assist with what they should already want, which is to be great? Do you find yourself as primarily needing to be a motivator, or just helping to enhance the motivation that they already have?
I think it's both. I mean, you got a locker room full of 15 guys. I mean, what we do is just, I mean, you've got millions of fans, and, I've got 15, 20 players that I've really got to individually meet with and make sure, the buttons are different on certain players. But I think it's both. I think my juice level has to be high. I think if you're juiceful, you're useful. And I've got to really bring the energy every day and set the bar, super, super high. And those guys, they follow. They do. A lot of times, oh, man, coach this, coach that. But whether it be second semester, sometimes it's second year, or maybe it's whenever they leave your program, and that's okay. But as long as you plant that seed and inspire them to not just be, good, but great. And, I've really taken pride in my job, Dee, is more than just, basketball, dribbling it and shooting it, but really impacting lives. And one of my life mottos that I put at the bottom of my basketball camp shirts is rebounding for others while shooting for goals. And you probably have read that at the bottom of some emails years ago. I've gotten away from that, becoming a head coach here, man. Kind of doing some different stuff. You know how that is. But that is something that I take pride in, is putting them first. And I told our players in the weight room the other day, they're not here to work for me and for us and our staff. I'm here to work for them. And I want to be selfless, and I think your leaders on the team, they pick up on that. And if the head coach is doing it, they can do it too.
Gotcha. So it's important that you exemplify greatness if you want your players to exude greatness.
Leadership.
Gotcha. What's the difference between good and great in your opinion and in your experience?
Key word for me is every day. Your craft, their game, really don't know that it's Christmas or it's a weekend or a holiday. Like, you could really look up a bunch of days out of the year and say it's a birthday, it's 4th of July, it's Mardi Gras, it's Valentine. I mean, you could really spring break, and next thing you know, you look up and it's half the days where, people might be off or something's closed. But I just think it's an everyday thing, and it's got to be, a lifestyle, and it's got to be a passion, something like I would coach for free. Don't tell LSUA that. We built up something special here in Alexandria. But, that's kind of D1. This is real talk. When I was in Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, I asked myself, what would I do for free? Because I did an accounting internship when I was at LSU with you. And I was like, no, I don't want to sit behind a desk, tuck my shirt in. And I got with my high school coach, and he hooked me up. And I got on at Catholic High School. And even bigger, I got on with Antonio Hudson at LSU. And then the rest is kind of history. I'm entering my 20th year in coaching, and I really don't feel like I've worked a day in my life.
My goodness. For those who don't know, what'd you say?
Just like you. I mean, you don't feel like you work. I mean, there's some part of the job that it's like, but.
Bro, you telling my story. That's why I'm just going to sit back and let this brother talk, because you telling my story, man, in so many ways. I didn't even know that you were an accounting major, because I feel like when you were a grad assistant, I was first, so you were a grad assistant. I was first coming on campus as a freshman, and we crossed paths. Huh? Yeah, I wanted to play. Yeah, I wanted to play, bro. And I was nice enough in high school to where I could have played D2, D3 ball. And in my mind, though, the glamour and the sexiness of being able to play D1 basketball led me, among other things, like my girlfriend at the time, that led me to LSU. So I come on campus thinking I'm just gonna try to walk on the team over here. And you and I ended up crossing paths. And I'm curious, for those who don't know, I'm curious for you to be able to expound upon how did you go from grad assistant. First of all, how do you get on as a grad assistant at LSU on the basketball team? And then that leading to all these years later, now you are the head coach, the fastest coach to 100 wins in conference history, correct?
NAIA history.
NAIA history. That's even bigger than conference history. NAIA history. What is the journey like from grad assistant to, like each step? Because I've been there as a friend, from grad assistant to Southeastern to what was the school in Texas?
You skipped Arlington. That's where you mailed me your first CD and you sent it on a piece of paper. It was folded up, and I want to say it was only the beginning. You had it written on it. And I tell folks that all the time. I had one of your originals.
Yeah, bro. So I need to know, like what was that process like to continue to basically you elevating each time? And what does that come along with? What has been outside of God ordaining your elevation? What work goes into being able to constantly just get a promotion in this industry?
Man, it don't matter who at the top of the stairs. We stepping up. Hey, seriously though, D, Matthew 7:7 is our season scripture this year. We're in season 7 at LSUA. And we feel like this is the season of completion, but that's basically not seek, ask. If you look up Matthew 7:7, and God just has just been, it's unbelievable to me. And my journey, like you said, I mean, I've really hit. I went to Xavier. I don't know if you knew that. 99, 2000, I was in New Orleans as a sophomore. I wanted to play college basketball. I walked on the team. I was in there with Kendall and Kermit Smith, if you remember them guys from Carl.
You played at Xavier?
I was a walk-on for a semester, and then I realized my coaching career needed to get started, and I shifted in the spring to doing some different things. But I did go to Xavier, and I'm representing the New Orleans for you, D, today, baby. I know you being Franklin all the way, but, I really from Xavier as a walk-on to a student manager at LSU to a graduate assistant to UT Arlington to a third assistant, and then I moved to Southeastern Louisiana 2 years later in Hammond to a third assistant, and then worked my way to a second, and then eventually an associate head coach. And I was there for 8 years, and just wondering kind of what's next, when's my opportunity. But I just really kept my head down and kept working. And then just how God does, man, I'll never forget. I came to this interview at LSUA, and I didn't really know much about NEI, truth be told. I didn't know if I wanted to lead D1. And what's LSUA? But there was a sign. It was Psalm 32:8, and it said, I will instruct you in the way you should walk. And God didn't lead me astray for sure. We came here. It hadn't been easy. It wasn't an overnight deal. But we had many nights in the office and signed a lot of good players. And here we are starting a 7th season. So you're right. It really has been a steady climb. And it's been one that it wasn't like you're handed to me. And I had to really work for it. I can't walk in the room and say I'm A. Johnson or I'm Jerry Stackhouse or I'm Steve Nash. I'm 5'0" D. You know already, and I didn't have a big time resume. So really, I just had to shut up and grind.
That's it. Now, bro, I always feel like I speak for the underdogs, the people who were slept on. In similar fashion. In the rap game, me starting out as a rapper in Baton Rouge as a college student, of course, at the time, you got Trill Entertainment, and you got Lil Boosie and Webby and Fox, and you got Kevin Gates. You got these artists that's the prevalent sound of Baton Rouge. So for me to come with a message that's focused on being real, righteous, and relevant, and no profanity in my music, and keeping God first, definitely it made me the underdog in what I do as well. And so many people so many times said, bro, you could make it far if only you'll just, give people more what they want. And I've always felt like God put me in this game to give people what they need and to be so good at giving them what they need that they start to want it, you know, and that's like a backdoor approach. And I feel like I was equivalent to like a Tom Brady, man, to where you end up being a late round draft pick. You know, you end up being somebody who it's like, yeah, you got in the game. You know, you got drafted, but you weren't a lottery pick. You know, you weren't a first rounder by any means. So now you're in the league, you're in the association. What are you gonna do with your shot? What are you gonna do with your opportunity? So I relate to you on that level as well, kind of being that underdog. Um, what is the most rewarding part of being a coach?
Being around these young men every day, being able to impact lives, being able to go recruiting and really meeting a lot of people. You know, basketball is just a people business. I like to think that I'm a people person. And, you know, there's times to lock in, close the door, and be serious and have a heart-to-heart. There's also times, you know, in the weight room, letting loose and playing some music. And, you know, our players are always asking me to spit some bars. And, you know, it's just whether it be the demographic or who I can relate with or just, you know, basketball guys, it's kind of in my blood. And I don't know what else I would be doing right now. And I'm, you know, very blessed that God's allowed me to go on this, you know, this journey of coaching, and really not just really coaching basketball, but coaching men. And there's and you know Dennis Abair from Hammond, Beacon Light, right? Mm-hmm. He told me before I left there, he's like, you know, basketball is not your means or something, but an inspiration is basically your means, is what. And I wish I could say that a little bit cleaner, but you know, it always stands out that it's not just basketball, but just inspiring people through basketball.
Yes, sir, bro. Once again, this is turning into less of an interview and more of just like a ping ponging of us saying the same thing, because there's been so many times where I felt like, God, I got into this game thinking I was just gonna be a rapper, and what I realized is that I'm just a person who has the ability to connect to people, and through connecting with people, I'm then able to reach them and able to inspire them, just because I know the art of being able to relate to them. And that is something that I have submitted and surrendered to, is that I'm more than just a rapper. You know, you're more than just a coach. You are definitely a walking ball of inspiration. So you know, it might seem like you're coaching ball, but you're actually like a walking big, huge ball of inspiration that is going to be able to have an impact even beyond basketball in people's lives. So what's one of the toughest parts of coaching?
Let me think on that, but real quick, I bet we have similar purposes. Our purpose, I would like to say, I bet is helping others find their purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's really it, bro. That's take pride with that. That's what mission vision is all about, bro. So mission vision, you know, that's the name of my whole movement. And mission vision is about, number one, committing to an ever-growing relationship with God. Number two, using your skills and talents, aka your slingshots, to make this world a better place. And number three, in everything you do, committing to be real, be righteous, and be relevant. And by people having mission vision and by people following what I do, I realize that all I want them to do is to enjoy the entertainment that I give them, but ultimately to apply it to their lives, and so that they can further connect with and walk in their own purpose, bro. So yeah, the fact that you just said that, it's like, that's exactly what I feel like I'm here for. I agree.
Find your gift. I remember you were a teacher, D. You know, find your gift, master your gift. I know you think you've mastered it, and you continue to master it even more, and then give it away. And you know, that's what you're doing, my man.
Find your slingshot, use your slingshot, defeat your Goliaths. That's it, bro. We really, y'all, this is like my long lost big brother, y'all. Like, and I won't even say long lost because we've known it for a long time, but we're just wired like so similarly.
But D, you don't understand like the lyrics, you know, the notes, your songs, and I'm not just talking LSUA. Like we've been going back Southeastern. You could go ask a bunch of players, UT Arlington, but you know, your words, like, you don't understand the lines and the time that you put in. God sees it all. You don't, but there's so many people out there that whether it be mission vision, throw them threes up, like your life and your thoughts really is, just a little Larry here. Can you imagine? I'm sure there's 99, 100, so many people, man. So just, credit you, Dee-1, and thank you for allowing, a basketball coach to use a lot of your inspiration, your story to these players.
Of course, brother. Of course. Now, you sent me a text message one day, and it had your schedule on it because I was trying to get some time on your calendar to just chop it up and just rap with you over the phone. And I saw how detailed your day-to-day schedule is, down to the minute, bro. How does being organized play a role in your coaching style?
Huge. I always say there's three things in anything being successful. You got to work hard for sure. Got to be able to communicate. And that's something that I wasn't quite sure. Speech class, public speaking, and I really admire and look up to you, D. You just make it seem like, I bet I could count on you're natural. And that's something that, I try to take from you to my job and just really be able to, whether it be eye contact or make a certain, get a message out to them. Two is communicate. And the third one is be organized. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
We've got to be organized. There's only so much time in the day. John Wooden used to say, make your day your masterpiece. And 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I wasn't quite sure, like, you know what? But now, like, each day is almost like Christmas or your birthday, and you got to really wake up and maximize it because you never really quite know when it's your last. And, there's a lot of mottos. We try to get more done by, whether it be 8 o'clock or by noon than most get done all day, or we try to be better on folks' best day than us on our, on a sick day, or, really just try to take opportunity. That's one level, the playing field. We all have time. We may not all have the resources. We may not all have, different gifts or whatever, but we've all got that time. And I've always been just a numbers nerd and something about time. You're right. And I just try to teach our, and listen, let me tell you where it started. I've got about 50 composition books from like 03, 04. And the very first one, it's a black composition book, whether I got it from Marshall when he was in his video, and that's what he did. But I went and I bought it when I was writing rhymes. It was called Larry's Lyrics, or each one had a different title on the cover. And I put aside the lyrics, the rhymes. I decided I think I chose the right path. And now it's just organization. It's basketball. It's quotes. It's just all type. And really, I've taken that notebook and I just keep one going at all times. And you can go in my office and you can see the whole library of them. And that really came from me writing rap lyrics.
Wow, bro. That's an amazing story because honestly, you writing rap lyrics and you talking about maximizing your time, that makes me wonder, how much does your love for hip hop allow you to relate to your players nowadays? Because I'm sure that most of them are huge hip hop fans. So although you might not be listening to the same artists that they're listening to, just your knowledge of how hip hop works and you actually, writing so many rhymes in your life, is that one of your touch points that you feel like you're able to relate to players on?
It's helped in mail outs. This phone, the composition books, probably people didn't take notes, but now you can use your phone as notes and mail outs. Used to, we would write mail outs and send them to the mailboxes when we were recruiting high school players. So you'd be able to catch their attention, or you've got to have that in, or that, something, that common bond. But we go in the weight room, the basketball court, and we play music. I mean, after wins on the road, I can just remember probably getting too loose, just having fun on the bus ride home and playing music and just, letting those guys know I'm like, I was once their age. And it may not be the exact same artist that we listen to, but I think they like it, that there's something that, Coach Cordero, a corny, short, white guy actually likes, some of the close, similar music. And I think it's helped a little bit. And, we get loose in practice. We play music during stretching. So, music's, a big part of, I've sent them for years and years, D. I've sent them your lyrics, man. I'm not just saying that. That's real talk. You could go back and ask the Chris Vickers, those guys in Slidell, Will Claiborne, those basketball players, they want to rap too. They do make songs. I don't have time to make songs. I'm too busy recruiting them.
Yeah. Speaking of recruiting, man, what does it take to be a great recruiter, and what is the process of recruiting like? Like for a guy who you might land as a freshman, how far back could that recruiting process have gone to get that player?
Like I said earlier, we just finished a camp, and this kid's a senior in high school. I'm from Ruston, D, up top of the boot. You're from the bottom of the boot in the swamp. And I used to put on a camp, 10 years strong, Cordero basketball camp. And it's neat to see that one of them's at LSUA now. And wow. He was at camp like 12, 13 years ago. And, so really they all start at different times. Some of them transfer. Sometimes they'll go to a D1 school, and we didn't get them out of high school, but we recruited them. We had that relationship, no bridge burn, wished them well, and possibly they'll call us back and say, you know what, it didn't quite work out the first time, but, now I've matured. I've learned it's not really the level that matters as much. I just want to go somewhere where it's a winning culture. So just to answer your question, it is a tedious, time-consuming process. We, make phone calls. We go watch them in practice, in person, in games. Nowadays it's more texting, and whether it be videos or graphics, social media. I was in the dinosaur age where we'd send them mail in their mailbox about once or twice a week. So, I've kind of been able to see it go, just elevate to be a little bit easier. And now you just get somebody's phone number and, reach out to them. Used to you have to maybe go through the high school coach, but you just have to be somebody that's relentless, and it's got to be an everyday. There's that word. You've got to form that relationship, and you've got to let them know that it's just bigger than basketball, and it's not a 4-year commitment. It's not a 4-year relationship marriage. It's, as Nick Saban, I've heard him say, it's like 40 years, longer than that, a lifespan.
I was just about to ask you, what you learned. What are some of the things you learned most from Nick Saban's book? I saw you putting some tidbits on Instagram, and it really caught my eye. And I either made a personal note about it, or maybe I hit you in the comments and said something about it. But it looked like you learned a lot from his book, man. If you don't mind sharing, what's some of the main things that stood out?
Just during the coronavirus as a whole, I've really tried to pick up reading. There's a thing called Audible. Sure, you and listeners have heard of it. I've really got a hard book and an Audible going on. And so I'm really diving into reading and listening to, and Nick Saban happened to be that book. And I don't just do it just for kind of passing time's sake, really trying to study the best. And Nick Saban, second to none.
Is Nick Saban, right.
That's right. And so, not the same personality. You might want to be like somebody. I'm sure there's a rapper you inspired, you like to be, but it's not really quite, I take pride that I don't cuss. Like in your music and coaching, if it happens, it's like a rare occasion, and then I have to ask for forgiveness. But I try to do things a first-class way and different, and let those guys know, whether it be mouth management or clean it up. And, hopefully those guys, there's a way to get things done. But, Nick Saban, to each his own. You have to do what you have. He's won a lot of games, and I took a lot of notes from him in that book. And I just think that's what, I learned from you, D. There's lyrics that you say, man, that I write in notes. But, Nick Saban just all around relentless, just attention to detail. Probably the ultra competitor. He's not a player. He was once, but, in coaching, you can compete. And whether that's being first to the office, whether that's in recruiting, that's in getting better and talking and inspiring your team. You can be better in your next Zoom clinic that you give to high school coaches. Every day is an interview. Every day is a competition.
Wow. Yep. what were your thoughts on? What were your takeaways from The Last Dance? I'm pretty sure you watched all 10 parts of The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary.
Man, are you gonna make me tell people that I wasn't a huge MJ fan, man? I was a New York Knicks guy.
Oh, John Starks and
Patrick
Patrick
Ewing,
Ewing.
Anthony Mason, and that's right. But all the respect to Jordan, you know, not just because his shoes, which I ended up starting to wear. You know, you become in the basketball profession, you know, or just in general, in people that really excel, like, man, just kudos. And, you know, Michael Jordan, what else can you say? That was really neat from a basketball perspective, just to be able to kind of see the behind the scenes and to open up the locker room. You know, that was perfect timing for what we were going through in our country, to have a little entertainment and to just see, you know, you always hear about Mike, you know, LeBron and RIP Kobe, you know, he's in that conversation as well somewhere. But, you know, just trying to pick and pull and learn and pull it into your craft and what you do.
I feel that. As far as your faith, bro, how does your faith get tested sometimes in the profession that you're in? Because you obviously are a man of God. You obviously aren't shy about your faith. And for you to be like, yo, I'm gonna be a coach, I'm gonna be a dope coach, but I'm not gonna curse. That differentiates you from 98% of other coaches, number one. But number two, just with the person-to-person interactions, the interactions with staff members, your players, the competitive nature of the sport that you're coaching, how does your faith get tested, man?
Faith is what you make it. That's the hardest since MC Ren. You know who said that?
Who said that, bro?
That was either Big Boy or Andre. I'm not sure which one of them said it, but that's on one of their older original albums, my man. But seriously, you know, right now in the locker room, like I told you about earlier, we've got seasoned scriptures. Hopefully the word don't get out to the wrong person out there, but you know, we're not shy that we're going to team church tomorrow. That we've done that 4 or 5 times a year. You know, each player in our program has a male mentor figure, and if you were here, now I'd be calling on you to be one of those guys. But it's neat, the relationship, and you know, we go through different churches here. We're actually going to tip that off on next week coming up. But you know, D, it's just basketball brings us here, as I told our campers this morning. But God got us here. And, you know, the older I get, not just in basketball, but in life, you know, I just surrender more. I'm trying to, you know, catch up for whether I go to church twice on Sundays for when I didn't when I was younger. I'm just really trying to read and learn and live the Bible. And some of these guys in 2020, they need it the most, but some of them, you know, may not have that example or that person or you know, can't take anything for granted, man. I'm just trying to let them know who Jesus Christ is. And that, you know, when I got baptized, this true story, in 2012, when I was in Hammond, I got baptized at First Baptist in Ruston on Thanksgiving Day. And I kid you not, it was less than a year later where God just opened up this program I interviewed. And it's almost like when I gave my life to him, that he really opened up a door that I couldn't on my own. And he started a program from nothing and allowed me to be behind it, you know, or allowed me to be stepping with him as he was behind it. You know, it's been all good. We've won a lot of championships, but it's been all God. And we definitely want to witness and use this platform for his name's sake and for, you know, for his glory, for sure.
Yes, indeed. That's so inspirational, bro. It's all good, but it's all God. I love hearing that because the more that we can show that you can rise to the top of your profession, in this world that is so driven by accomplishments and achievements and stats, for the people who are putting those numbers on the scoreboard to be able to show that, yo, I'm I'm a brother that's just trying to be more like Jesus every day. Like that's what matters most to me. I think that makes such a powerful statement to people coming up, because people seem to feel like pursuing God and pursuing excellence in their craft don't go hand in hand. But you and I both know it to be, to be drastically different. What would it be like if you won all these championships, if you racked up all these wins, but if you didn't have a relationship with God at this point? How you think that would feel, man?
Pretty empty. You know, D, I've got this prop, right? You know, New Orleans, but there's one more before I forget it. I almost want to go get it. We've got a yardstick, and it's got the key to the gym at the end. You know how people have these pins and they tie something so they don't leave? Well, we keep that on a yardstick. In one of your songs, you said, the game gave me an inch, so I took a yard. That's how the game goes. Give me the exact line.
And I took it. That's how the game goes. And I learned the game from old timers wearing Kangos. That's on my song, I'm On It.
That's right. And
Yep.
I'm on it. Baby, I'm on it.
Yep. The game gave me an inch and I took it. Yeah, that's how the game goes. I learned the game from old timers wearing Kangos.
All right, let me take it a little bit. So what I did is I came in here, it's a true story, and I cut inches up, like of a ruler, right? And I passed them all out probably 2 years ago. And this came from you, D. And this ain't pre-rehearsed or anything. It's just, I just thought about this. And so life gives you an inch. And basically LSUA gave us an inch. And we basically made a yard. That's how the game goes. So we keep the key to the gym on a yardstick. And it kind of, I've got an inch. I keep my inch. It's in my car. So all the guys, whether on that year's team, have their inch. But I keep an inch. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
Wow, bro. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Because metaphorically, right, if they give you an inch, it's all about what you do with that inch. Like you can extend that inch and once you get that foot in the door, once you get that key to the gym, it's like, what are you gonna do in the gym? Because you can make it look good for Instagram. It's real easy to make it seem like you're in the gym all day, or you're in the weight room, or you're in the studio all day. But what did you get accomplished when you were there? And that's the reality that I think a lot of people just want to look like they are really passionate about something. But when you're really passionate about it, number one, you'll do it for free. You'll be willing to do it for free. And you'll probably have to do it for free for a long time before you start getting compensated for it. Number two,
you and I can relate to that.
We can definitely relate to that, bro. Like people who just think that they're gonna automatically start, making 6 and 7 figures from day one. They're gonna be.
Coach, train call a timeout.
Huh?
I got a timeout left.
Yeah.
Jeff Fisher ran track at LSU, Los Angeles. When I went out there to a pumps retreat, it's a basketball clinic. I'll never forget, man. You and I missed each other by a couple of weeks. I think you slept on the same couch. You were in LA, he was in LA, and whenever I went out there, I needed somewhere to crash. That's another, man. Do you remember?
Bro, I definitely remember that. And I definitely remember because he was
New Orleans.
Yep. And he has a brother named Grant.
That's right. Yeah, younger brother.
Yeah, so Grant was more or less around my age. Jeff was a lot older, but Jeff lived in LA. I went out to LA. I'll tell you how this happened. I was in LA because the BET Awards were going on at the time, and I didn't have enough money to even be able to afford a plane ticket out there. And I had a buddy pass from somebody. And with a buddy pass, you fly on standby. So you're not even guaranteed a seat. And I remember sitting in the airport early one morning, and I was like, God, if it's meant for me to get to LA to be there for the BET Awards and to network and be able to try to get my grind on, make it to where I can get on this flight. Because they said all the seats were sold and they weren't going to have space for standbys. And I'm sitting in the airport and they said, passenger David Augustine, and they called it over the loudspeaker. And I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to LA. So I hopped on that plane. Then when I got to LA, it dawned on me, I need somewhere to stay. I didn't even know that I was going to make it to LA because I thought it was a long shot. And I remember hitting up Jeff, and I crashed on his couch, went to those BET Awards, met Pharrell, gave Pharrell my demo CD at the time. Pharrell, he looked at the CD and he said, I appreciate it. He said, my jeans are too tight for it to fit in there though, man. So I can't even really take it. And he wasn't lying, bro. He had on skinny jeans, man, like so tight that it was like, yeah, bro, I can't even get mad because this CD ain't gonna fit in those jeans. So met Pharrell, met Pusha T out there. But more importantly, made some connections with BET, with employees and staff out there. And little did I know that years later, I would be on the BET Hip Hop Awards, performing in a cypher. I would be hosting the red carpet for the BET Hip Hop Awards. I would be having BET come to my hometown in New Orleans and come and interview my grandparents and go to my old house where I grew up at and profiling me on a story. And these connections started out with that standby plane ticket that I was able to catch that flight to LA and crash on Jeff's sofa. And you were there a few weeks later doing the same thing, chasing your dream, man.
Awesome. Hey, what's the lyric where you said couches are slept on, something about tears? Give me the beginning of the song. Open up with it.
This goes out to all the couches that I slept on, all the the song's called Proud of Me. It's called Proud of Me. It's on I Hope They Hear Me Volume 2 mixtape. This is for all the couches that I slept on, all the tissues that I wept on, the clothes that I slept in, the kids that I left when I quit teaching to try reaching my peeps in the streets. And man, if I ain't post a rap, God, please let me know. But if I'm post a rap, God, please let me blow. They saying, I'm thinking, why not?
Hey,
bro. But yeah, bro.
The beginning of that was real, and I related about, couches that we slept on and all the people, that slept on you. And, so we've been on that same journey, man, that same hustle, like you said, that underdog spirit.
Yep, that's real. Do you still feel like the underdog?
Yes. LSUA's had unbelievable success, D. In year 3, we went 34-0. We were 30-0 regular season, and then we won, I guess it was 2 in conference. Anyway, we were 34-0, and we ended up losing by 2 in the national semis. And, even before that and after, we haven't had a bad season. We've been really blessed. But I tell our guys, we're still the ones hunting. Like, we're not the ones getting hunted. Like, we still have that underdog mindset. Like, we're still doing the hunting. And we're still chasing. And we're not parking here. I've got a sign in my office that says, don't park here. We're not parking. We're not, you stop and you see the sights and we're still moving forward. And so, it's just another opportunity. And yeah.
How do you keep your players hungry, man? Because obviously some of them they have that Jimmy Butler mentality, that Mamba mentality. Just some of those guys who they are that Kevin Garnett mentality, where they're going to get themselves mentally focused, give themselves that edge, that MJ mentality. Some naturally have that, but for the ones who don't have that, but they have a heck of a lot of talent, what do you do, man, to get them that chip on their shoulder? How do you help someone find their chip?
A lot of patience. I've learned to really let those guys, it's something that I can't really force upon them. They've got to eventually somehow figure it out for themselves, whether it be through a teammate or the culture that we have instilled here. You can put a little bit in them, but for the most part, they got to find it, and it's in there. It takes a lot of time. I know that's not really a catchy or a flashy answer, but really, being that spark too. Like I said earlier, I try to be the energy coordinator and to make sure. I always tell our guys, like, the coaches have the recipe. You guys are the ingredients, and it's up to them, for us to bake this cake and for something man, I always tell our guys, man, it smells so like, when something's ready, you can smell it. Like I always tell our guys, like, man, like we smell ready, like it's coming, but you need that heat. And that's where I'm going, 400, 500, you listen to those albums back in the day, like we got to bring the 400, 500 degrees or else we're not going to, it's kind of like, a cake with the ingredients and the recipe and bringing all that together. So you hope that you can recruit the ones that have it, but sometimes talented ones that you want to work with and maybe they don't have it, you've got to bring them along. And hopefully, Jay's favorite line, dog in due time. I know you've heard that one.
Now he look at me like, dang, dog, you what I am, a hip-hop legend. I must have died in an accident because this must be heaven. Yep.
D, I love music and tying lyrics, but again, I'm reading the Bible more so and trying to get it to where I'm spitting scriptures,
Yeah. Spit scripture more than just quoting bars from.
I spit your bars, I'm spitting both. That's an and one.
That is an and. Oh, that's an and one. Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar. For real. Hey, man, I love you, bro. Genuinely. I gotta ask you this. This just popped in my mind as you were speaking. What have you seen the unsuccessful people in your profession or just in your time as a coach have in common? Like, are there any commonalities between the people who don't maximize their potential?
We've got 3 team rules. Be early, then you're on time. And as a program, man, that first year, D, we won a conference championship. We were early as a program. People were like, we kind of came out of no. The second one is no complaining. No excuses, no whining. Basically be a man. And then the last one is just protect the team. Don't do anything. You're bigger than just yourself. You're LSUA. You're guys that roll with you, D1. Like we talked about earlier, you're only as good as the people that you're around with. So when you're out in the community, just protect the team. When you play college basketball, it's bigger than you. So if you can be for the team, if you can be early, come to work, we're going to get it out of you. And then the other one is just, don't complain, embrace it, love it. We want guys that on a scale of 1 to 10, we as a staff go around the room and we talk about each player. What 1 to 10? What's their love scale of basketball? Are they a dog? Do they love it? If you take it away from them, would they be okay with it? If they came and said, D, you can't make any more albums anymore. But shoot, I bet you still gonna be on the side down there in New Orleans on some street. What street would you be on? You would be spitting, man, whether it be every day or once a month. That's your passion. That's what you love to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Man, I love that. People just need to hear that, bro, and they need to know that there are things that unsuccessful people have in common, and you want to try to stay away. You don't want to park it there, in those unsuccessful puddles. You don't want to park it there, man. Last question, bro, before we wrap up.
Last question, man.
Bro, it's crazy that I didn't even think about it, and it's almost an hour. I told myself, man, if we get to an hour, that'll be amazing. And we almost at an hour. I think we got like 12 minutes left, 13 minutes left until an hour. So that's probably time for.
Good. We got to start doing this once a year, man. Like our birthdays on once a year, same day. We got to reserve this, man. I've enjoyed it, D.
This is awesome, bro. And when you talk about character building, and the fact that you want your players, you want your coaching staff to achieve excellence professionally, but you really care about their character personally. Is that something to where, all right, do you find a disconnect that maybe exists to where a lot of the men and a lot of the guys who you are dealing with, to where maybe they don't see how the two tie in together, and they maybe feel like, I want to be a dog on the court, coach, but off the court, man, I'm not tripping if I don't go to class, or I'm not tripping on how I treat my family or how I treat people in the community, or if I got a relationship with God. Do you see a disconnect there, man? And I want to harp on that. If there's ever a disconnect that you find that people have there, and if so, what's that process like to try to get them to see that the two tie in hand in hand as far as personal spiritual, professional success. They all go together, you know.
For sure. We've got 3 C's in our program. We want to be a champion on the court. We want to win some rings. In the classroom, a champion, get a degree. And then in the community, the word you just used, you know, we want to love our community. We've been able to do unbelievable amounts of community service. And that's really the LSU A, the Alexandria connection. You know, we kind of came in, we were the new kids on the block, and it's just been an unbelievable relationship. And we want to teach our guys to do good for nothing. You know, don't just do good to get something in return. Like one of our mentors came and gave some sweets to his player on his birthday today. His birthday's today. And we had 45 kids from all over the state. And he was teaching him something that he said his grandfather taught on his birthday, speaking of birthday, to give people gifts. And I made a note, and I'm always learning. I thought that's pretty clever, is for you to give. And I just want our players to just give. You know, you always, whether your hands are up for something or whether, you know, I think you get it how you give. And we want to be a program of teaching young men to give. I think it correlates that on the court, we've led the nation in assists. And we also led the nation, you can look this up, trust me, D1, and throw them threes up. Last year,
in threes?
we made 13 three-pointers a game. They say it's not bragging if it's a fact. I just wanted to, but we did throw them threes up, man, like you did.
Ooh, bro, it's a lot of NBA teams that, bro, 13 three-pointers a game. Nowadays, I know it's more of a three-point friendly league, but it's a lot of teams, man, that's not hitting 13 threes a game. Wow, in the NBA.
That was a side note, but just, you know, we want these guys to, like, we lost the national championship at the buzzer, 80-80. Literally, we should have went to double overtime. A guy hit a shot that really is not a three-point shooter, and I told him on the bus ride home the next day, you know, we're not national champions, but those guys are life champions. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, on my birthday, I got a birthday card from Jordan Williams, who's playing professionally. He's from Central High School in Baton Rouge. And I've got it in my office, and it's very touching. It's about work ethic and about beating me to the gym and the values that he kind of, you know, witnessed and wanted to bring in his life, and gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Like, that's not a national championship trophy, but it's even probably more meaningful to me, that note that he wrote. And I told those guys they're life champions. And, you know, that's really what we want these guys to, you know, don't leave here with bad habits. You know, if you didn't smoke when you came to college, don't start smoking when you get around, because, you know, you get to college, you know, that's a thing. And that's credit to you, D, for, you know, walking your walk, being in the career that you're in. You know, people, whether they rap about it, talk it, they do it. And for just, you know, keeping your body pure, kudos to you. And that's what I want our guys to be able to, you know, not pick up bad habits, to have their family started after college. I know things happen, but, you know, to try to get off, you know, on a good note, and to, you know, a lot of times our players come in with such good family life that, you know, it's just my job not to mess it up. You know, there are some instances where, you know, they've had, you know, rocky life, and it's up to us to really to be that father role model figure for them. And you know, so they all come in different shapes and sizes for sure, but those do matter. You know, the better person that you are, I think, better player. Ask Collis Temple III, and you were at LSU when we were there together. CT3's done amazing things. I mean, he had, you know, his lineage from his family, but, you know, they go hand in hand. If you want longevity, if you want to survive, if you don't want to just be a one-hit wonder, have one good season or one good album, I think those guys that are good people, you know, I think they go hand in hand, D.
That is. That's a great note to end off on, because everybody's just trying to make it. Remember Drake had that song, this when he first came out as an artist. It was I just wanna be successful. And that was probably off of his first mixtape, yeah, before he even dropped his debut album, that was off of his big mixtape that he had. What was it called? Take Care or something? Whatever Drake's first big mixtape was, I think that was it. But that song, I Just Want to Be Successful, I think it resonated with people because that's what a whole generation just wants, is to be successful, not realizing that professional success and longevity, I would say. Success is one thing, but longevity, professional longevity is tied into personal and spiritual growth that's on that same level, if not exceeding what you're doing professionally. So that's where a lot of the work also has to be put in. So yeah, in the gym is one thing, in the studio is another thing, but being able to get down on your knees and pray, being able to get in that word day to day, you know, that discipline there ties into the blessings that are unlocked, but also knowing how to handle the success when you get it, because handling the short-term success helps to ensure that it won't be short-term and it'll last for a long time. So
that's right. When we win a game, we keep our head down and we keep working. When we lose, and it's been we've been blessed and fortunate to not have many of them, man. We keep our head up and we keep working. So the key word is keep working and don't get down on your defeats and don't get the big head on your dubs.
Gotta keep working. Gotta keep working, man. Last thing, bro, because I don't want to let you go now. I'm sitting here like 5 more minutes. I want to say thank you for allowing me to speak to your team. That was that maybe 2 years ago?
2 years ago in the hotel in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after we played Dillard, right before we played Suno. That
Yep.
was awesome, man. We had that hanger in the locker room, man. You talk about those 3 things: your purpose, your peace, and what was that other P? Your passion.
Passion. Yep.
Boom. Hey, at least somebody. I was listening.
Yep.
No, they all took it in. I thought that was really dope how you had that hanger, man, and you used that as a prop.
Yeah, I truly appreciate that opportunity, man. And I was able to see in that moment of me speaking to your college basketball team, I was able to see the potential in those young brothers. And I was able to see myself in them, because so often it's like, man, I'm here, I'm doing what I want to be doing. They're playing college basketball. That reminds me of being an artist or being, you know, being a rapper or a public speaker. And it's like, all right, I'm doing something that I love, but knowing that there's always people who have done a little more or who came a little before me who have more knowledge and more wisdom to impart on me. And I salute you as a coach, because the attention that I saw those guys paying to me when I was speaking and the respect level that I saw from your team as I was speaking let me know that you have instilled inside of them an appetite for knowledge and an appetite for wanting to respect someone who could help them fully maximize their potential. So I felt like they saw that in me, and I felt like that ultimately initiated with how they were raised from their families, but also how their talent is being nurtured by their coach. So I thank you for that opportunity, man. That meant a lot to me. And, you know, we're just going to keep winning, bro. That's all we're going to do. We're going to keep winning on the court. You know, we each have our own courts that we play on. We're going to keep winning on the court, and we're going to keep winning in life, man. And we ain't going nowhere, bro.
What are we going to win? Win the what?
What we going to win?
We going
to win what? Win the chip? Win today?
You got a song. Maybe I'm tripping. You don't have one, win today? Maybe I made that.
No, it's win today.
Win today.
That's what I thought you meant. Win today. Yep. So that's I was about to jump in and say win today when you were talking about your mentality towards like every single day. And what did you say Coach Wooden says? He said
make each day your masterpiece.
Make each day your masterpiece. I was about to say, bro, that reminds me of my song and my quote, which is, yesterday is done and tomorrow hasn't come. So win today. You know what I mean? Win today. Every single day, we're going to win today. Then tomorrow, we're going to win today. Then the day after, we're going to win today. So that's what we're going to keep doing.
I would pay you some money to put all your songs, man. You know, I'm old school. I like CDs. I've got some on my phone. Man, I'm telling you, I want like 1 through 100. I want your 100 best songs Man, I'll send you a Benjamin right now. I'd just love to it's just to go back and
Yeah.
I've got some in some shoe boxes and
Bro,
you move. You got
you ain't gotta pay me a dime, bro. That's something that I would love to do even for myself. I'm gonna ask you this before I let you go. I don't even have some of my older music, bro. Do you still have that first CD I ever mailed you?
I'm sure I do. I'm sure.
Bro, I will pay you for that CD, bro. Not even for the CD. You could keep the original, but for me to be able to make a copy of that, bro, I don't even have access to those songs anymore, bro. Like, there's a couple mixtapes, anything that came out before the digital era. So before I got my I Am Who I Am mixtape, and that's the first thing that actually got put on like iTunes and streaming platforms. Everything from I Am Who I Am on, that's all on streaming platforms. That there's a digital footprint. All the stuff before then, though, bro, I don't have copies of this music, bro. If you have that, I know you're busy. If you ever run across
that in my composition to-do list.
If you ever run across any of my older mixtapes, brother, I'll make that drive. I'll come and see you and pull up and get that, or whatever I gotta do, I'll cut whatever check. So yeah, bro, we're gonna keep connecting, man. And
no check needed, man. You know that. We bigger than that, brother.
Yeah, bro. We're gonna keep rebounding for others while shooting for goals. That's it, bro.
Right. You got it, man.
That's it, brother.
I look forward to seeing you. I'm always hitting you up about where you performing next, when your next album coming out. I know you got your hands full, D. It's been awesome, and just kind of from afar, admiring you and kind of staying in touch from time to time. But for us to be able to get together and connect, this has been really special to me. It means a lot.
It's awesome, bro. We hit exactly an hour. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to go through 4 quarters, baby, and we did it. You know what I mean? So thank you, brother, for a victorious interview, a victorious exchange of ideas. And God bless you, bro. He's been blessing you. I pray he continues to bless you, man. I truly love you and I appreciate our friendship.
Man, this has been amazing, bro. I appreciate you, love you. And let's just keep doing what we're doing, man, impacting lives. And one day, possibly, I'll get on a track with you, brother. And maybe I'll put you on the coaching staff, whether it be for a game or for a season. We're going to connect. We're gonna be in contact, and we'll see what happens. D1 and L Train, or Coach Augustine and Coach Cordero.
There it is. Yeah.